is time to wake up. There is more to life than you have been told by your family, by your teachers, by your government, and you know this. You know this deep down inside. You feel it. I know you do. It's time to wake up. This is a call to action. Being asleep is no longer an option. You can try and bury your head in the sand, but this is happening. The whole world is changing. Everything is shifting. If you've ever seen the movie The Matrix, this is what it's like now. We're becoming unplugged. And it's a time for you to decide who you want to be. It's a time for you to decide who you truly are. It's exciting. It's crazy. What can we do? What can we do to help make this transition smoother? Because I know when I first woke up, it was a scary time. There's so much information out there. I got overwhelmed, and you go on this kind of journey down the rabbit hole, they call it, right? You go following this rabbit, and it just leads you all over the place. So my top advice for you, find a great mentor, find a coach, find someone who can guide you through this. Choose someone who you resonate with energetically, who you feel a pull towards, and ask them to guide you. Now, of course, ultimate guidance comes from within. So if you have that ability and if you have that skill, if you are able to meditate, if you're able to ask those questions from that place of silence, you will get incredible answers. A lot of my guidance comes from the universe, source, God, your highest self, your guides, whatever you want to call it. When I'm in my meditations, I get so much of this wisdom through. But here in this physical 3D realm, I find it so important to have a great support system. As you start to unpack this stuff, you'll realize it's deep. It's deep. You know, you have to unpack all your beliefs, all the social conditioning that's been put on you. From when we're kids, our parents, you know, they have great intentions most of the time. Our teachers have great intentions most of the time. Our government has great intentions most of the time. Maybe. That's a whole different video about, they call them conspiracy theories, right? But it's only a conspiracy if it's not true. But they all have their own interests, ultimately, right? And so they do the best they can with what they know, operating from their current level of consciousness. And so from a kid, we're programmed, most of us, with all these limiting beliefs, telling us to be quiet, telling us to fit in, telling us not to stand out, telling us to do as we're told, all this stuff, right? That adults know what's best, to listen to your elders, and we're brainwashed in a way that makes us not trust ourselves. And so a big part, once you wake up, is how do you start to first identify what conditioning you have? How do you, before you can shift it, you need to know what limiting beliefs you have, right? What it is that's holding you back. Then you can start the process of really going deep into it and learning how to shift these, how to change these, how to transfer these. It's deep, 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 deep work. First thing, I have to say this is so important. Question everything. Question everything. All the most intelligent people, they question everything. Do not blindly follow anything that someone tells you to do, including me. Do not blindly follow anything that I tell you to do. Breathe into your body. Feel if this resonates with you. Like, really sense it. Does this resonate with me? Explore it. Go and examine it. Maybe you try the thing and you see for yourself if it works. Don't just trust me that I'm saying that this works. Try it for yourself. Do your own experiments. Become a scientist almost, right? It's like you want to go figure this stuff out. But when you have a guide, when you have a mentor, everything is so much easier. So I have spiritual mentors. I have business mentors. I have mentors for physicality to teach me how to be more healthy. I have mentors for every area because I find someone who's already done what I want to do and I ask them to show me how. This is the magic. So I wanted to make this video just to give you some advice if you're in this waking up phase, if you identify with this. Some really great advice. You are going to be uncomfortable, often. Imagine a caterpillar gets in its cocoon, probably thinks it's going to die, right? It's going to go to sleep forever. And then when it wants to get out of its cocoon, it has to literally like break out, like push out of this cocoon. It must be terrifying, right? The change, the ripping apart, all of a sudden these sticks its head out, and then there's these wings that appear. It's never had wings before, and now it has to figure out what to do with them. It's a scary time, right? A scary time. Transformation, change, that's what it's like. For the new to be born, for the new things that you want to come in, you have to let go of the old things. For that caterpillar to become a butterfly, it had to stop being a caterpillar. So how do you really mitigate this? How do you make this so it's more manageable? Because I've seen people, they just get overwhelmed, and I know I had moments like that too. My best advice is take things one step at a time. One step at a time. Be really present. If you start thinking a million miles ahead, if you're living in the future, you're going to miss a lot of the magic. So it's great to have a plan. Make a plan, absolutely. Like, figure out what your goal is, break it down step by step. What do you need to do? But then stick to just taking it one step at a time. With you, I teach a lot of people at our events about coming out of your comfort zone, and we do some great exercises to get you out of your comfort zone. But if you do something that's too far out of your comfort zone, usually what happens is people, they snap back. They want to go straight back into it. So when you really want to stretch your comfort zone, it's great to stretch it just bit by bit, by bit, by bit, piece by piece, by piece, by piece, and you'll see in no time you'll be there. Start questioning everything. Figure out your own truth. Do not blindly follow what anyone tells you to do. Find someone to guide you. And really question them. You know, growing up, I thought the government was supposed to guide us. We have this National Health Service in the UK. Most of the advice that they give is in their best interests. Our parents love us, but most of the advice they give is in their best interests. Everyone can have good intentions, but ultimately, most people, especially when they're unconscious, a lot of what they tell us to do is what's in their best interests, not what's in ours. Think about a kid, right? Think about a kid in a supermarket who's being so loud, they're having such a good time, they're singing, they're expressing themselves, and their parents just want to get their shopping done, right? And so they say, shh, come on, be quiet, behave. The kid's having the best time, but the parents say, shh, come on, behave. And now what? This little kid, we're so conditioned from the ages of 0 to 7. A lot of people believe from 0 to 7, that's when most of our ego is formed, most of our limiting beliefs are formed. This little kid who's always told to shh, come on, every time they're having fun, shh, come on, no, now's not the time. They start to believe there's something wrong with them, and it's not because their parents are bad people, they were just trying to do their shopping, right? Or whatever it is they were trying to do at that time. Bit by bit, piece by piece, we get conditioned. Start to really question why you do everything that you do. Why do you eat the things you eat? Why do you work out the way that you work out? Why do you read the things you read? Why do you have the job that you have? Why do you have the dreams that you have? Why do you have these desires? It's a fascinating inquiry. Dive deep into it and let me know how it goes.